Thank you, Madam Chair. Judge Dudek, did I say that name right?
That's correct, Senator.
All right, what's the warrant requirement?
Well, before the court would issue a warrant, you have to assess to make sure that there's probable cause to either search the place.
When's a warrant required?
Excuse me?
When is a warrant required?
The general rule is a warrant is required any time that the government wants to search a person, place, or thing.
Could you speak into the mic?
Oh, I'm sorry, Senator. Yeah, I said the backdrop rule is that a warrant is required any time the government wants to search a person, place, or a thing.
And to arrest you, right?
There are some exceptions to that, but generally, yes.
Okay. And there are exceptions to the warrant requirement for searching and arresting people, are they not? Are there not?
Yes, Senator, there are.
Okay. Suppose the Florida Supreme Court ruled that here in Florida, we're not going to recognize any exceptions to the warrant requirement. You have to have a warrant to search someone, and you have to have a warrant to arrest someone. Mm-hmm. No exception. Can the Florida Supreme Court do that?
Well, Senator, under the Supremacy Clause, they'd be bound by what the Fourth Amendment dictates. Of course, they're free to make their own requirements as it.
What if the Florida Supreme Court did it under the Florida Constitution and not the federal Constitution?
Well, they would still, Senator, have to apply with what the federal Constitution said under the Supremacy Clause.
Do you know what adequate and independent state grounds means?
Sure. Of course, I would understand that they could have independent and adequate state grounds for state law.
No, they don't. As long as you don't take away rights, but add to them, a state can do whatever it wants to under its state constitution, can it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
Senator.
not what you just said. You think the Supremacy Clause applies? The Supremacy Clause applies.
Well,
you want to change your answer?
Senator, I would like to change my answer to the extent that I agree with you that the Florida legislature or Florida could do exactly what you said. I meant in my statement is that.
Trust me, it can.
Welcome to Liberty Trigger. Hey, Patriots. Welcome back to Liberty Trigger, your home for truth, freedom, and no BS commentary from the heart of America. If you love the Constitution and you're sick of watching unqualified elites stumble through basic law, hit that like button and subscribe, because this one's going to make your jaw drop. Let's start with Judge Dudek. Senator Kennedy asked her the simplest question imaginable. When is a warrant required? You'd think that's easy. It's the Fourth Amendment. But Dudek froze. She stuttered, contradicted herself about state versus federal power, and Kennedy literally had to teach her about the Supremacy Clause.
Judge Pruitt, I'm sorry, I can't see that far.
It's Judge Pratt, Senator. Yes.
Judge Pratt, I apologize. I can't see that far. Can a state legislature pass a law that discriminates against a group of people over another group of people for inferior treatment?
Well, Senator, the federal Constitution and the state Constitution both contain protections against various forms of discrimination.
But can a state legislature say we're going to treat this group of people differently than another group of people?
So I think, Senator, an example where a legislature
tell me first if a state can do that.
Yes, a state can, for example, require a driving age, which discriminates on the basis of age. To say, for example,
when can a state legislature not do that?
When it's seeking to do so under a basis that is protected under the state or federal Constitution.
Okay, good. Judge, tell me about the privileges and immunities clause.
The Privileges and Immunities Clause, there's a privileges and immunities and a privileges or immunities clause. There's one of each. One of them relates. Privileges
and is what I'm asking you about.
I believe you're referring to what came through in one of the Reconstruction amendments and discussing the fact that the privileges and immunities of citizenship would be extended under those.
First, what article is it in?
I believe it's in the 13th Amendment.
No, Article 4. What does it do?
Senator, you have pinpointed a question that in my 9 years as a judge, in my decade of private practice before this, my 2 years as a law clerk, my 2 years on law review in law school, including a year as editor-in-chief, didn't ever come up.
You tell me you don't know.
So it's an interesting question.
Yes, ma'am. I know it's interesting. That's why I asked it.
Yes.
But you don't know the answer. Just tell me. I got a lot of ground to cover here.
I would be very happy to research it.
Okay. Do you know what the privileges or immunities clause is?
With respect to, my answer would be the same on that.
You don't know it either.
Well, with respect to the privileges and immunities of citizenship, my recollection is that
privileges are immunity.
Yes, my recollection is that was discussed in one of the Reconstruction amendments.
Which one do you know?
I believe it was the 13th or the 14th.
All right, Judge. What's Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 64 do? Ma'am?
Which judge?
This judge down here on the far end.
Arttow?
I can't see that
Okay.
far.
Just making sure, because there's 4 judges there. Judge Arttow, I'm going to let you answer that briefly.
Hey, I want to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
You can
Madam
answer that
Chairman.
briefly.
Judge, what's Title VI of the Civil Rights Act do?
I believe that ensures that people are treated equally in any places that they would be, that they would not be discriminated against.
In all cases?
Refresh my recollection as to what you were referring to,
I'm
Senator.
referring to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which you're going to see every other Thursday as a federal judge.
So I believe that's under the Commerce Clause. They wanted to make sure that there was not any discrimination going on with regard to race, and that was addressing it.
It prohibits discriminating on the basis of race or color or national origin. Under what circumstance? Do you know the answer?
Under any circumstances where you're providing services to people.
No, it's only if you're getting federal money. You need to brush up on that one. I'm way over my time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Right there in the hearing, when she finally realized she'd been cornered, she tried to change her answer mid-sentence. Folks, this is a federal judicial nominee. If you don't know when a warrant is needed, maybe you shouldn't be wearing the robe. Then came Judge Pratt. Kennedy asked if a state legislature could pass a law discriminating against certain groups. Instead of saying no, she launched into a ramble about driver's licenses. After a few rounds of grilling, she finally admitted states can't violate federal protections. But the real shocker? When Kennedy brought up the Privileges and Immunities Clause, Pratt flat out said she's never studied it. 9 years on the bench, and she's never cracked open one of the most basic clauses in the Constitution. That's terrifying. Then Judge Arttow. Kennedy asked her about Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Instead of explaining that it bans discrimination in federally funded programs, she rambled about equality and the Commerce Clause. Kennedy finally cut her off. You need to brush up on that one. Boom. Mic drop. And he was right. These aren't tricky, obscure laws. They're core principles. If you're going to sit on the federal bench, you'd better understand the Civil Rights Act. Now, let's step back. These nominees weren't chosen for their constitutional brilliance. They were chosen for their politics. That's the problem. When ideology replaces merit, we end up with judges who can't define the very freedoms they're supposed to protect. This isn't about partisanship. It's about competence. Every judge, no matter who nominated them, should know the Constitution front to back. Because when they don't, it's your liberty on the line. Senator Kennedy didn't mock them. He exposed them. He asked clear, basic questions, and in doing so, revealed a serious crisis in our justice system. Too many people wearing the robe without understanding the rule of law. So here's the bottom line. If you swear an oath to defend the Constitution, you should actually know what's in it. Period. What do you think, patriots? Should these nominees even be confirmed? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget, freedom isn't free. It's defended by informed, courageous citizens like you. Stay free, stay bold, and never apologize for loving your country. This is the Freedom Frontline, signing off. God bless America.